All right, my name is Aaron Valdez. I'm the owner and founder of Relationship Runback. What we do is we help couples bring back hope and love to their relationships, no matter what stage they're in. This is the inaugural first edition of our podcast. Let's see if we can get some more. And I have a couple guests here, my brother, my cousin, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name is Noelle Mobley. I'm Aaron's cousin. Just pretty much here to talk about all the healthy things that we can offer to help relationships. And like my cousin was saying, in any state that they're in.
My name is Maury Garcia. I'm Aaron's brother here. First time meeting. Couple guests here. This is my second marriage. Here in moral support as basically my brother's business. Open ears, and definitely willing to be an open book and answer questions, and hope we do the best questions I can answer at the time.
So you're finally going to support me?
I'm here to support my brother.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sidekick. We're going to take this to the next level, guys. Okay.
All right, so let's open up with, we all had our relationships, ups and downs. What is one lesson that you learned that you carry with you today that like an aha moment or like you always fall back on? What's one lesson? And I'll go first. The lesson that I've learned through marriage is you have to be friends first. You have to be friends. They're human beings. They're God's daughter or son. If you're not friends first, then it's hard to build anything off of that. I would say it's just hard to, really take it to the next level. Noelle?
I think one thing that I fall back on is my reaction to things that my partner would do. I think that's my main thing, because I can't control anything they do, but I can control how I react. And I think that is one of the most important things that I've learned to carry with me.
How, so you get, because you can't control them. So you're saying
Absolutely.
Your reaction,
Absolutely.
how you react.
Yes. So even if I'm upset at a certain situation, how they're handling things, however anything is going, I got to pay attention to my reaction to that. And that's important. That's the key to things.
Absolutely. Good.
Good question. Fall back on definitely would be religion, believing in God, church, which I don't have, and I think that's why I'm here. Is definitely I don't have that, and that's why a failing relationship. I don't want it to fail because I don't have that, and I know I need that, and plus a lot of other things.
But you'd say God, church?
Yeah, definitely for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also wanting, falling back on is my partner, my wife, to believe the same way that I can't control how I want her to be. She may think a little differently on that background of religion and church and needing that in a relationship. And whether it be at home or at work or with a friend or your or anybody.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up about. What if your partner isn't a Christian? What if your partner doesn't want to go to church? What if they don't believe in that? Or because I was that way. Joanne was the first one really to go to church, and she went by herself for a long time. And being raised as I was kind of. I don't want that, So it must have been hard for her to just be going, because she obviously needed it in that time of her life. This is about 10, 15 years ago. But I eventually came on board and went to church with her. But that doesn't mean, just going to church doesn't mean that you're a Christian,
Oh, definitely not. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I go to church, like I said, I'll be there at church this Sunday. Hopefully, I'll probably go by myself. But then when I get home, I'll be popping open a beer, watching the football game later that night. I know that.
Yeah.
Do I battle myself? Is that right? Is it wrong? So I battle my own devils in that way. But I mean, we all know when we go to church, It doesn't really mean that, you have to live a certain way. You should try to live a certain way, but we're all sinners.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not to be a hypocrite or just make an excuse.
Yeah. Noel, what's your experience with church? Is it a part of your life? Is it something you've done in the past, or you turned off by it? Or
See, we never really grown up with the church in our family, but we grown up. I think my mom was Catholic growing up, but then we grew up to have like Christian beliefs. But then as I grew up to being an adult, I just took a piece of every religion and I kind of not like made it my own, but I took like the beautiful things in each religion, because I kind of feel like if there's a God in each religion that's making everybody have peace, then something must be working. You know what I'm saying? So let me learn about these different religions and let me see the beautiful things that I can get from them. So I took a little bit of the Muslim, took a little bit of Jehovah's Witness, a little bit of the Christian. I believe in Jesus, believe in Allah. Like it's a bunch of different things that I believe in that bring me peace with that. And that's what I kind of feel like it's like a battle between like going to a church, because it's like you got to pick and choose and this and that. But I don't feel like we should like be subjected to just one thing like that, because I feel like you learn a lot about people that way, because if it brings somebody peace and then you can understand a little bit more about that, you can understand about people, you'll learn more about yourself.
Understood. So your partner's here. Does he share the same views as you?
Kind of, not necessarily.
How does that show up in your relationship? How does that affect you?
We talk about it by watching certain pastors, but just the ones that can relate, not topics generally, not like, disciple went to go do this and that, and then he was, knocked, because of that, but like more so as, pastors that talk about like how certain events can relate to what's actually happening in like the now times, like how you can relate to it more than just like a hypothetical, like how something is.
They make it more relevant to you. So
Exactly.
you can apply
Yes.
it. Yeah.
And that's what we kind of, use that to help us,
Understood. Okay.
grounds us.
This is my first time meeting you. Even Jordan over there. I mean, I know my family here, but you guys seem like real just chill type folks. I just feel that about you.
Are you judging them, dude?
Well, I guess you want to call it judging, but they're like, they seem real chill. For me, I feel like I have this anger inside of me, and I deal with that shit every fucking day. I do. And I want to get to that level of just, I consider myself a real nice person. I'll give the shirt off my back, but I just have this anger. What I've been carrying since I was a kid, probably. But trying to bring that into a relationship, restarting it every day. For me, it's like it's a battle.
So anger is your stronghold. That's what's got a hold of you right now, and you're asking Jesus to help you with that.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Every day, pray. I pray for other folks. I pray for your marriage. I pray for my our family, everybody that's been through it. Stuff at work, trying to forgive people that come across me, and I just want to hold a grudge against them. But just take a step back and hey, you know what? In my head, just take up deep breaths. Mm-hmm. I do that, and I come across people all the time. They don't like it's off their shoulder. Just keep on going, So you saying judging? I take it differently. You guys think like maybe if you would have pissed you guys off, you a whole different story. I'm not saying you guys are walk all over yourselves. But that's how I battle my battles every day. Another reason why I'm here.
Is that a rap that you have, dude? Battle my battles?
It's supposed to be on my cover album, yes. I do sing for Saturday nights, guys,
That's
by
a
the way.
good title, dude. Battle my battles.
Yes,
Yeah.
karaoke
I think
at the
I
lounge,
think that
Friday
helps.
nights, 10 o'clock p.m.
See, I think that helps with anger too. Doing things that you love. He made a joke. Jokes help with anger.
Yeah.
Doing music. You know what I'm saying? Even if you were to do something like that, like things like that, help like finding yourself, finding the beautiful things that make you you, and just projecting that onto the ones that you love. So it's like you're opening yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you're being vulnerable in a sense, and kind of trusting them with that. And I think that will help with those issues.
Definitely, trust is something that I'm not talking about cheating.
No.
You know, I'm not talking about doing things behind their back, drug wise or anything. But like trust, I have a trust issue with my wife. You know, and if she ever hears her or not, she knows that. You know, I don't trust her when I should be able to trust my wife. It's not talking about. I mean, she go this weekend to up north for a concert with her daughter. Great for you. Have a great time, rock and roll. I don't trust her being around other men. I just don't trust her. You know, like what happens in our household, that shit should be kept in our household. I don't trust her on that level. I've been kind of, you know, that's how I feel. You know, trust. You brought up trust. I'm glad you brought that word up.
So let's go down that road. Let's go down the trust road. That is a huge topic. It's a huge area of, I mean,
so many levels of trust where trust can touch.
It's the foundation.
It's crazy.
It's the foundation of it. And even if my son, with my brother, with trust is just huge. And I truly believe this, when you have trust with somebody and you break it, sure, you can repair it. You can, move on from it, but that'll never be that pure trust you always had. Just that innocent, me and you here together against the world. It'll never be that again. You lost that, because I wish someone would have told me or warned me, hey, guard that trust with everything you have, But myself and people in today's world, they don't do that, and I don't care what you say. We're back together. Trust is there, but it's not the same. It's trust. It's a form of trust. You have to move on and live with that, what you've done, and what you've been through, and it's just a different, like I said, a different level of trust.
Yeah, so many.
It's not going to be that pure when you just got together that you were just like this, but it's still trust. And God repairs it in His way, teaching you, with all the relationships in our lives about trust. But that's a huge one, man. I want to impart that on my kids. Hey, be careful what you do, because once you lose that trust, yeah, you'll get it back after years. And but there'll still be doubts. There'll still be this. There'll still be, it's just not the same.
Now, is there ever a point where you hit that wall? This is enough. It's really time just to walk away, or just don't get around that wall anymore.
I don't know. I haven't. What? As Christians, we're not supposed to do that, but I don't know. That's my wife and I are in a 14-week marriage counseling program right now. Someone asked that, how many times are you supposed to forgive? How many times? In the Bible, I can pull out a scripture for you right now. It says 77 times 4, 477 times you got to forgive. But that just still sticks in my mind. What if they want to repent? What if my partner wants to still do X, Y, and Z, but knows that it's wrong? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question. Maybe I'm not deep enough in my faith yet, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think it has to do with them making choices. Kind of like it's this is going to be crazy, but kind of like how Eve took the bite of the apple and tried to give it, you know what I'm saying? And, it's about making choices. So Adam made the choice to listen to her too, you know what I'm saying? So when you know something is wrong, you shouldn't do it. So when it comes to that, I think like all of our choices that we make come through the mouth. They come through what we ingest and what we digest, whether we put food in it, whether we put words in it, whether the words come out, the food comes out. It all has to do with our choices and what we make. So we have to knowingly make the choices correct for ourselves so we can be okay for our partners. We have to know how to love ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like is missing in a lot of our faith that we have is where love is, because we can still give it and see the signs of like our partner and see how their reaction to that is. Like depending on what's going on, certain things you can't tiptoe around. You know what I'm saying? Like with the trust, like there's certain levels of it. It's, like, can I trust you to wake me up in the morning to get me ready for work? Can I trust that you're not gonna, interrupt me while I'm trying to work on certain things? Like different levels of trust, can go certain ways, depending on the levels that they're broken with.
Count. The small things
They do,
add up.
especially if they keep on happening over and over and over again. It's like, can I trust you to make the choices to do this for me? But it's going to have to do with like their accountability as well. So you have to have a partner or a spouse that can take their accountability as well, and then you guys can both have like a happy, well, not really a happy medium, but like where you guys can come together and like talk about things when you are able to like walk away, like he was saying, because you were saying something about like, I'm not able to, just walk away and do this and that. I feel like in marriages, you should be able to, but not like walk away as I'm leaving you, but like walk away as in, let me get a moment to gather my thoughts.
Right.
Let me focus on things because this got heated up and I need to focus on what really makes me happy before I blow off. And because we're human beings and we all have a tendency of pushing each other's buttons, especially when we've been together for so long. We know what buttons to push.
We know exactly what to push.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes it's like, hold on, let me take a breath and let me separate. Let us both separate.
Yeah.
And do whatever brings us peace and then come back however long it takes, because this is not a rat race. This is our lives. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no amount of time that we have to be anywhere.
You bring up a good point right there when you say, argument to separate. So when I was growing up, the model I had was my grandmother, and she would separate, but she wouldn't say anything. And that was like, it's, if you're going to separate, hey, I need a moment.
Say it.
I'm going to cool off. We'll come back and talk. But she would just, it's called shutting down and walk away, or not just.
I have a problem
back then
with
it's called
that
the silent
too.
treatment. That's the whole silent treatment thing. And that showed up in my marriage too. I would okay, well, forget you then. I'll walk away, and that's very unhealthy, because it's not solving anything. But again, the models that we've seen in our childhood come back to rear their heads, and we fall into that behavior. But that's a good point you bring up about just taking a step back. That's healthy, but let your partner know why.
Exactly. Don't just separate and leave. Talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because like sometimes in arguments, people say words and they say mean things. Like you don't ever want to take it to that degree and say mean things, because you can't take any of those things back.
Yeah.
And if your partner's able to forgive you for that, then that's a blessing in itself.
That's the key word. Next topic, forgiveness. Another huge topic, another area we could spend 3 hours on. But Mario, what does forgiveness look like to you? And how have you learned to forgive, or are you in that stage, or whatever?
Oh, wow. Good question. Forgive. Gosh, that's another thing about forgiving. Last night, like for instance, with my wife, instead of jumping into a conversation where I know it could blow up, definitely an argument, I took a step back. Like you said, take a step back and just listen to her, and then approach it a different way, which I know the old Mario, which was a few hours before I got home, would just jumped in and made it worse. So forgive what she said at the time. Not let her know that, hey, I forgive you. But in my head, say, Mario, you know what? Just that's how she felt right at the time. Come back and approach it a different way. And it worked out. Forgiving. Instead of kind of like, I forgive you. She didn't know I forgave her inside, but I'm showing her my actions towards her a different way, a more calmer way than the old Mario.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the old Mario's not there anymore, he's still there.
Of course, yeah.
That was my way of forgiveness. Kind of.
Yeah, taking a step back. But God knew that you were acting that way. He knew you were working on himself. He knew that was a victory for you. small victory, but those small victories we should applaud those victories.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big step for you. I'm proud of you. Say that, you know.
And I walked away. I walked out of the room. I grabbed the dogs, went for a walk, and I text her a few minutes later. And I text her and how I say, hey, our marriage needs. I told you about it earlier. In our words, we're in both of the mechanical field. We need a tune-up and we need an alignment in our marriage. And she knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But that's the way I texted to her instead of, you know, in a situation that could have been heated. Walk the dogs because I love to walk the dogs. You know, cool down and just kind of get my mind straight and, you know, shot her that text. And didn't go back in and ask her what she thought about that text. Just moved on and we had a great night. You know, but like I said, the Mario that really was want to dig in and why'd you say that? Why? Just no, it gets ugly. Doesn't work. Doesn't work in our household.
And that's going to take practice. That one victory is great, but it's like any muscle. It's anything you want to do professionally. It's like it's going to take practice and hours of practice, you know, to become master. And even masters have problems still. It doesn't mean it's over. You know, I know some people I look up to in the counseling industry. They were counseling people when their marriage was falling apart.
Yeah.
So don't think that because you're a master, I say I'm a master, I say I'm, you know, those that I don't have struggles or we don't have struggles. You know, it's still an ongoing battle because there's a warfare going out there, and we're in the middle of it.
And I'm here really to pick up, like I said, just meeting you, and doing this for the first time. I already picked up something from you. You said this is not a race. This is our lives. You said that. This is you know, it's a marathon basically, you know, in marriage.
It is.
You know, because I want the answer to fix it now. You know, no, but hey, just relax, dude. If it works out, it was meant to work out, and I like that. I already picked up something I can walk away and use in my life, marriage, relationships, you know, everything. You know.
So I don't say nothing valuable.
No,
to you.
pretty much it's a wrap. Let's go ahead and call it a day.
No, let's go home.
I think that therapists need therapists as well.
You have to. It's actually part of their schooling. So as I
Absolutely.
pursue my master's degree, it's a requirement that I go to therapy.
Awesome.
So it's part of the whole program because you have to know what you're doing. You have to know
Exactly.
the whole side. But I want to ask you, tell me about a time, and if you don't want to, you can just pass it to him.
No.
About a time, something light, where you gave forgiveness in your current relationship, and how that worked out, and what strategy you used, and how did it end up, and do you feel like you're growing in that area?
I feel like, yeah, I'm definitely growing in forgiveness and even being forgive too, you know, because it has to work both ways. I have to know how to be forgived in order to forgive too.
Right.
I think it's important to know, you know, like there's a yin to the yang, you know, with everything, you know what I'm saying? Like in order to have ups, you need to have the downs, you know? So I think like one of the things that I was able to forgive on, something small, gosh, let me think of something. Damn, like, cause we talk about a lot of things. So like a lot of our arguments don't really stem on big things. They stem on stupid, like little things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know. Like, oh my God, like what's something?
Like we're gonna eat or
God, like
Burger King.
Okay, there we go. Something, yeah, like if we argue about food, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like the word whatever, you know, like that's a word that I really don't like to use because it can have so many different definitions on how you're using it and in the context you're using it.
Yeah.
So it's like, so hey, what do you want to eat? Oh, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So just depending how that's used to, which is cool.
Really?
But if you're using the whatever word, like if I'm trying to, you know, ask you something serious and you're like, oh, it's whatever, then that's something that I would get upset about because it feels like you're not really giving thought into something that I'm saying. So we had an argument on something like that with the word whatever. I can't remember what it was about, but I remember I got upset with that. But then I was able to forgive him in the context because he was able to remind me that, you know, hey, you know, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? And I had to just put myself into his shoes. And I have to, you know, remember that, hey, you know, there's two different lights here. It's not just my light, it's his light too. You know what I'm saying? Two different, you know, perspectives. So I gotta.
Yeah, exactly.
that helped
Putting
me a lot
yourself
too.
in the other person's shoes is a strategy that
Absolutely.
healthy couples use. You have to put yourself in their shoes. It helps you understand them more. It helps you just know where they're coming from. Like, different perspective, a different way to look at it. Oh yeah, well, looking at it that way, of course. Yeah, okay, I understand.
Yes.
Recently in our relationship, Joanna and I, we heard the same sentence from our group, right? Heard a sentence. The sentence was, "We do couples counseling, and we talk about X, Y, and Z." So what I heard is that we do couples counseling. So this couple does couple counseling. What Joanne heard as we were driving home, she goes, "I don't think they meant that. I think they meant the church does couples counseling." I was like, "Well, what? Wait. No. They just said we do couples counseling." So we heard the same thing, but interpreted differently.
Yeah.
And that still
We
blows
do
me
that
like,
too.
well, okay, calm down.
Okay.
Hold your horses. She heard it that way, and that's okay.
Absolutely right.
That's how she heard it.
Crazy.
She's that's how she. I'm not gonna. I was getting mad. Well, why did you hear it that my way? What do you mean? Beautiful example of how people can hear the same sentence, the same thing, and interpret it differently based on their experience, their life, their practice, their everything.
Absolutely.
Because they have a different viewpoint than you. Wow, that's right.
Different perspective, different set
perspective.
of eyes.
So
Wow, that's
she heard
crazy.
churches couples.
Yes, and I heard, no, they're telling us right now we do couples counseling. I thought I was pretty clear, but again,
I'm kind of confused too, though. But I would no. I'm being serious.
Because
Like,
who is
I-
the we?
like, I'm trying-
And then is it
I
the
don't-
church
I
making
get
the
it. Where she's
announcement?
coming from too, though. I get it. 'Cause I would
crazy.
took it. Okay, I get what you're talking about. I also get where she's coming from too, though.
Exactly.
It's kind
no, I still don't get it, but that's not a thing to harp on because
Facts.
she's a different person than me.
Yeah.
It goes down to the core. She's different.
not
She
nothing to
sees
argue
things
about.
different in the world than I do. I can't expect her to see things my way all the time. How boring would that be?
Yeah.
You know,
Wow, that's
Definitely.
insane. That's
right?
That's
That's
dope.
like that blew my mic.
That's dope.
Okay, so calm down. The old Aaron would have harped on that forever. What do you mean? How do you not do all that bull crap right there? But as I'm growing in my faith and growing in God's Spirit and the Holy Spirit, hey,
Now, are you one of those people? And I'm not. Because my brain
a
doesn't work like-
BMF?
No.
Okay.
Are you one of those things that brings up old things and brings it up during mostly a heated topic? You know what I mean?
I used to, but once you go there, you might as well pack it up, call it a night, and just turn in your,
Just clock out or just
nothing good's coming. Clock out.
Exactly. Everybody's
Yeah.
going to be talking about the same.
over and over.
Oh my God,
Constant
that is-
circles.
that is a death sentence to arguments. Once you go,
Yes.
well, remember when you did? Oh,
But now my
Forget about it.
my
But
outlook
I
on
did
that,
this and that.
Oh.
and you being a woman, I feel like women in my experience, women do that a lot. Maybe in my life, I don't know. Like
I think that's why I really don't have a lot of women friends like that, because they do things like that. And I was brought up like a tomboy. My brothers, like all we did was sports, basketball, football, volleyball, everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I grew up with that mentality. So I think like the reason why women act like that, like I do too, like have my emotions and stuff, but I can understand why I do things now and I cannot do those things. But a lot of these women, they don't want to have that. They don't want to have the accountability that because with that comes with knowing that they're doing something wrong. And a lot of women don't want to feel like they're doing anything wrong.
key point. You gotta face before you do couples therapy. You gotta fix you.
You got to own yourself.
You gotta own yourself. Nothing's gonna get fixed. It's not Joanne's fault that I'm angry. It's not her fault that I'm this. That it's not. I have
Absolutely.
the way I was raised, what I was doing, whatever I did, my guilt, my shame, all this is me. That's a great point. You gotta fix yourself, or at least take a look at yourself,
Look at your reflection.
man, and say, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or that I could do better, or I could, and I think about working with couples a lot. And I think what if I get a couple that just the one of them doesn't want to, doesn't is not in that area? How do I fix that? You know, that's part of my challenge and my education. But how do you help a couple when one person wants to, you know, be healed and is all in, and the other person's, well, no, it's still him, it's still him, it's still her, it's still her. You know, that's, you know.
And I've done counseling, and here I go again, talk about my past.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just something I experienced in my past marriage. I was, hey, maybe a counseling. I'll go to counseling, and I'll be the one talking, and this is your counseling session. They want to see what's going on with both of us at one session. I meet you there. This is multiple times we've done this, and I want to go home and practice it. And next thing you know, 1 hour goes by, we get an hour session. I do all the talking, do all the venting, whatever you want to call it, and nothing out of, you know, it's like, that's why I'm here, so, you know, you can, you know, let's go home and just practice this stuff, you know. Just because you're counseling, they give you books, they give you sessions, they want you to do this, and you try to obey by it and do it, see if it works. I'm a big believer in that, you know, practicing, whether it be sports, you know, sports, you brought out sports, that's how I was raised too, sports. You still go to practice and that's it. No, you go home and practice, and you get home and you do another 2 hours of throwing the ball or this and that, and every single day, whatever it be at work, it be relationships, at church, you know, practice.
Yes.
Makes perfect.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's this being in a relationship. You have to. I don't want to say the old like, practice makes perfect, but it does. I mean, it makes progress. You know, and we focus on our careers and, you know, making money and our hobbies and what we want to do in our days off, and our job takes us. We put so much time in that, but how much time do we put in our relationships to practice forgiveness, to practice trusting, to practice being humble, practice communication strategies? You know, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. You know,
Absolutely.
Your tone, your controlling your anger, controlling those take practice. You know, and
I think realizing too. No, I was going to say, I think realizing when, you know, because you have to have those moments of opportunities in order to show that you've grown during that. So I think it's a moment of awareness. Now, when you see that moment happening, you have to now tune back into your mind what you went through in counseling, what you've practiced, what you've read in a book, and then you have to like have it right then and there because you're going through it right then and there.
Right.
So it's like you're on your teeter totter. You have to balance your way back up.
It goes back and forth, back and forth.
Yes.
And along those same lines, have you ever met that couple? Maybe you've had friends. Maybe you haven't met this couple, but the couple says, "Oh, we never argue. We have little disagreements." But again, with the practice, first of all, the line. You have to go to the conflicts and have the up and downs to learn from it. And,
Exactly.
you know, you're two sinners coming together who want to get married. You're bringing all your attitudes and your and your morals and your values and your habits into this one marriage. You're gonna have conflict. You know, and you want to embrace the conflict, like you said, to get through, to learn. Oh, okay, that's why. Oh, so if I do this, oh, okay. Now you learn more about each other. So now over the years it gets, you know, smoother, like a rock, just, you know.
Now, are you guys married or are you guys
No, we're just
dating? How can I put this?
So you just put all the kind of pressure on this guy right now.
No. I'm sorry about that, Jordan.
You don't even got a microphone.
No, what I'm trying. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is we all date to potentially, and marriage to possibly be married at one time, right?
Right.
Now, I also agree that you don't have to love someone as much in order to be married. Some people don't like to be, or they don't believe in marriage. I totally agree with that. But when you got married, my second marriage, I mean, I didn't plan to get married again, but I fell in love with this awesome woman, but got married, and I don't want to have a failing marriage. I don't want to fail in marriage, whether it be a relationship or not.
Yeah.
Is it easier to just date someone and just kind of walk away? Not easier, or is it because you're married, you want to give up on your marriage? There's like a level of just dating. Well, it didn't work out. We'll try to just move differently. Or is it because of marriage? Is it different because you're married? You're supposed to go and work it out. It's the same. You have to put as much effort in it, whether you're dating or marriage. How can you separate that? Or is there a separation of it?
That's a great theory. You know, you can go through your whole
Levels.
life without really ever knowing nobody, dude. What movie is that from?
I'm reading quotes.
Dude, Good Will Hunting. Come on, dude.
Well, T.
Anyways,
I thought from Step Brothers, bro.
Matt Damon. That's a great philosophy too. No.
Yes.
It is.
But I mean, you can't avoid a conflict, even if it's dating. Again, you're two different people with two different lifestyles, world views. You're gonna come together. You're gonna have. You got to learn how to overcome the conflict and have strategies in place. Whether you're dating, whether you're casual dating, whether you're engaged, whether you're married for 20 years, 2 years, 5 years, it's gonna come up. We're imperfect human beings.
Like
We're
I'm
sinners,
a
yeah.
Democrat. She's a Republican. I can't stand it, dude.
Just
you know,
let it go, dude.
it's hard.
Call it now.
Guys, just kidding.
But that's a good thing to bring up. I mean, you can live a single life. You know, but I think the Apostle Paul was single in the Bible forever. You know, and that's
It worked out for him.
it worked out for him. He kind of, but that's a good question. Single and married. I think you have to learn how to be in relationships because not only with your partner, but how about your kids? How about your sister? How about your brother? You got to know how to resolve conflict. If you know, there are times when we get mad at each other. You know, I'll get mad at you. Get mad at you. Again, if it's Mario, you're gonna blow up. You're gonna blow up. But if we learn how to work through our differences, no matter what situation we're in, you know, no matter what, I wanna have a healthy relationship with you and my son and my cousins, and you know, no one wants to hang around an asshole, dude. You know,
That's true.
Awareness.
awareness.
Yeah. So if
I'm
you
aware of that
think, yeah, so it's like if you think that you're gonna be an asshole, then you're gonna project that onto people. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna already you're gonna already set yourself up to have asshole remarks, to have asshole responses
Yeah.
when people are around. You know what I'm saying? So I think that has to do with people too. Like they have to have an awareness of themselves to know how far they're willing to work towards a problem, whether they're single, whether they're married, whether like what you were saying too, it's like, you know, relationships with brothers and sisters,
Yeah. Anyway.
any types of those relationships, you got to have that awareness about yourself
Even at
first and
work.
foremost.
I walked in yesterday.
Yeah.
I woke up in a great mood, had my coffee, went to work. As soon as I hit the door, I turned into an asshole, and that's why I was kind of in yesterday.
Yeah.
It took me like 6 hours to finally look at your Facebook and like, damn, calm me down, you know, because one employee. When I see him, I just want to fire him. I just can't do that. But I just turn into this asshole, make comments like you said, making those stupid comments, which you know I can't get in trouble by HR, but I still make little jabs there. I know that's not right. I'm freaking 43 years old. I shouldn't be acting like that. And for the first time in my life, I'm acting like when I see this person, I just want to turn like clock out, go home, fuck out of here. You know, that's well, like I said, you hit that door and I just turned into an asshole making comments. And it took me to the end of the day. I'm glad I didn't come home like this. I come home in a more positive vibe. More positive outlook in our marriage that last night, you know, Monday night, when it could have been all bad, you know, being an asshole when I hit the door, you know, making comments towards whoever, you know.
Dude,
But why are they worth your time in order for you to have that energy towards them if you don't got to see them when you get off? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you allow them to have that type of, you know, power over you?
Yeah.
Like it's gut wrenching. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And it's draining.
It's draining,
It's so
stressful. It's just-
draining. Oh my God, I know how that is.
Shit.
and if something happens to this guy, this podcast has to be turned over to the authorities. We had Jacob,
Secret Services.
Right. Over to the authorities. This is evidence.
FBI, open up. No.
No, I mean, I love all people, man. I mean, I mean, I don't hate anybody in my life. I love, I mean, shit, I try to love as much as I possibly can. And I'm one of those guys that I get pissed off, not home. I'm over it within an hour or so. And you're right, I just can't let that one particular person or situation, whatever it may be, just like take a toll. You can feel it take a toll on you, you know? Fucking stressed out,
Yeah.
you know?
It's not fun going
I
to
could
work.
read it
No,
on your
no.
face. Like it's,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on
gosh,
your face,
it's so
yeah.
stressful. Like, yeah, no,
So again,
those people.
as I'm pursuing this career and trying to help people, I'm also building my faith, working on my faith, and I think it's my biggest issue with God, trusting God. Because for so long I was a fake Christian. Going to church and everyone was great. The family looked wonderful. We had kids. So it was all BS. That was all surface. You look underneath and it was just horrible. But with what you're saying, with your anger and how you have to give it over to God. You have to give it to a higher power to release it, because you don't want to walk around like that. It's my faith is, I think it's the biggest part of my journey. Really just trusting and giving it to God. When they say that to me, I still hear my pastor say it. Hey, give it to God. He will help you through it. It's still like, really? In every area of my life, I got to just trust you. That's my battle right now. It's my battle. That's what I'm trying to do the best I can, and I'm worshiping. I'm going to church and filling my life with the Word. But it's still a battle. I have to practice it every day. If I go a few days without scripture or reading something, I feel the enemy
Oh yeah.
My mind is like, oh nah, you don't need that group. You don't need that. You can do without it. And no, but again, I learned to give a lot of over to say, hey, you know what? I can't do it on my own. Once I said that was the key to my marriage, reconciliation. God, I can't do this on my own. Surrender, but really doing it, like really saying, you know what, this is, I don't know, the book that I have is not working, I need to turn to your word. And Joanne used to always tell me, I used to tell her, what book is that? Where's it written? Where's that rule at? And she goes, oh, it's in the Single Man Marriage book. That's where it is. And one day I'm gonna write a book. Don't steal that from me. The Single Married Man's
I'm gonna lock that in the
Handbook.
safe right here, bro.
Dude, that's the book I'm gonna write. But so yeah, just working on my faith and giving it to, because we cannot do it on our own. I can't. I know that for sure. For one thing, I know for sure, I need God's help to help me with every part of my relationships.
Now you're talking about God surrendering, and when I go to church, I admire those folks in front of me, because I always like sit in the back. I've always been like that, whether the movie theater or wherever I'm going in a concert. I sit in the back and you see the church and they're worshiping and they have their hands up and they're hallelujah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I know I can. I can do it. It's just I admire those folks doing that. They just let loose and just.
Can I be honest with you now? Can I be really just brutal and honest with you?
Yeah, of course you can. That's what we're here for.
Your faith is not there.
Of course.
The Holy Spirit's not running through you. You're worried about what everyone else is going to think of you, who's looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
you. That's it.
Fuck people.
Right?
Because I do that
people.
too.
Yeah.
I do the same thing that you do. I want to praise the Lord, fill me with it. But I'm like, oh, okay. Especially when I'm with my family. I'm like, oh.
And it's not what other. It's not. Because you told me this when I was in my 20s. This 20 years ago. You said, dude, fuck what people think. No one gives a fuck about what you're doing.
Absolutely.
No one's listening to this right now. They don't give a fuck about you. But I'm not trying to do that in church. But
That was some good advice.
It's my wife and her children. I'm more like they don't see that side of me. They don't know that side of me. They don't, because I've done it before in my past.
Yeah.
Because her kids look at me in a different way. Because I remember I could keep going on, but I'm embarrassed of my family of them seeing me like that.
Why is that? That's a good question.
I don't know. I do not know.
Break those chains.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And you said the Holy Spirit. Yeah.
Break those chains.
Yeah.
But like I
That's
said, I
interesting.
sit back and I admire them.
So I'm going to go one deeper on you.
Sometimes you got to separate yourself from your family. Not like that, but sometimes separation requires elevation.
Oh, I like that one. What? Yes. I'm going to use that later.
Seriously, because
separation requires elevation.
It's kind of going through that with me, with me and my family. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, because of my elevation, because of something that I said to a family member.
Yeah.
And this family member no longer wants to talk to me. And it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Because and then I realized, but it's my separation, and it's because I'm elevating that it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And it hurts every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's something that I realize that I have to do, and I can't keep dragging those chains. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much of myself I put on that plate, I can never be enough for somebody that don't want it. No matter if it's friends, family, a partner, anybody. You know what I'm saying? If they're not willing to accept it right then and there, I have to do what's best for my elevation at that time. You know what I'm saying? And then one thing that helps me, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to church and religion, I've only been to a church twice, but I listen to gospel music like crazy, and I don't care who judges me or anything like that. Nobody in my family has listened to gospel music. I didn't come from a family that listened to gospel music, but like the past 5 years, it's nothing but gospel music on my playlist, and that's what I'm doing.
Like Marvin Sapp?
I do. I love Marvin Sapp.
Marvin Sapp. Oh,
yes, never would have made it. Best of me. Love it. And it's like I just smoke my blunts, bump my gospel music, and I'm in my element.
Yeah,
I'm in my zone.
Maybe I need to go to those gospel churches, let loose, and just have the Holy Spirit run right through me.
Just
I mean,
serious. Yeah,
I've known folks that they love those worship churches. Like, okay, I get it.
And I'm just by myself, so I don't got to worry about who's gonna judge me, who's gonna look at me, whatever. I'm in my own element, and I'm owning it for myself. Then now once I become okay enough to own it, and now I'm okay with it, now I could feel like I could be in the church doing the same thing, because I've done it by myself for so long, and it's natural now. It's real, you know what I'm saying? So I think that maybe you were trying to like do something in the church that wasn't yet real, but you wanted to fit in with everybody so it could be real. But in order for it to be real, you got to experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to experience it on their level when they're saying it, because like what I was saying before, it's not a race. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll find out that your time for that.
I want to hit on a topic that you brought up right now, going back to forgiveness. When you forgive someone and they're not ready, forgiveness is not between me and you, because he may never forgive me. He may never want to forgive me. He may want to keep doing what he's doing. He likes what he's doing. He likes how he's living. He is in that cycle and that pattern. For me to let it go, it's between me and God.
Absolutely.
God, I forgive him. It's yours. I'm going to do my amends, my repentance, because, we're all human, we're all sinners, and I can't carry that anymore. You just can't carry it with you. And I know people who carry that and that grudge and that pain with them for years. And I'm guilty of that myself, with my family members. Yeah. You got to let it go. It's between you and God, because they may never repent. What are you going to do, carry it forever?
Yeah.
It starts between you and God. You can try to make amends to them if they don't want it, or you can show them that you repent. But your example and your walk with God will show them. And pray for them.
Yes, that's all I can do. Absolutely.
And then they'll come around one day and you'll say, "Hey, your example of forgiving me, and I didn't want to forgive." We'll bring them around. God works just miracles. He works miracles.
On His time. It's never on our time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why a lot of people, like we lack patience with a lot of things, because we come from this world of where we want everything instantaneously. But it didn't take years for it to come to that point. So we just got to learn that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we talked about trust, talked about forgiveness today. We talked about just some good examples of anger and what we're dealing with. I appreciate you opening up and talking about it. Any last thoughts you want to hit us with? Anything you want to let our viewers know about you? Do it. If you start rapping right now, dude, it's gonna.
No, I'm trying to be
Jacob,
professional.
edit it out.
Let's put a beat on.
This is actually a good side of me today.
Okay.
No. I'm glad. Hearing your outlook on the questions he asked. Definitely take some of this and use it. And I'm one of those people that picks up things here and there every single day and brings it home with me and stores it and try to use it. And nobody probably even knows that we'll try to use it.
Yeah.
If we're able to see this down the line down the road on social media, sorry, honey, don't be offended by anything I said. Okay, it's just me opening it up. I'm trying to make it work for myself. first. Love myself first.
Therapy.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that this is a great segment. You know what I'm saying? I think it's great to talk about relationships, you know, owning things about ourselves, learning about ourselves, you know, learning how we react to people and their reactions to us as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think what I've learned today with this is that, yeah, we got to learn to realize when our boiling points come, and just act accordingly. You know, do the things that we've learned about, that we've taught, that we want to grow into, and just try and be a better person. Try and treat people a little bit more better. Lead with love.
There you go. You will love.
You will love
Good,
it.
good. And closing out, I just want to say thank you for being here today. I know it's quite a
so
drive
much
for you,
for having
but
us.
thank you for being here. Give me your time and your viewpoints. And I just want my audience to know that the reason why I'm doing this, and I'm going to keep doing it, whether I make mistakes or whether I look goofy, whether it doesn't matter. I believe that it's my calling. God is going to use my testimony to teach other people, and so ultimately glorify His name and bring people closer to God, because we all need that right now. We do.
Absolutely.
All right.
This is the
Out.
Catalina wine mixing company, bro. You know.
This is it's not Carlito Wine Mixer, dude.